Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy, clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. All right, Aquarius. Let's jump on in. On your side of this connection, you have stability with the Lovers in reverse here. You're looking for commitment here, and I feel like a higher level of commitment in some way, shape, or form. And I feel as if this Lovers in reverse energy, it just feels like you're not getting the level of commitment that you deserve. Like, even if you are married to this person and have been with them for a very long time, like, it still feels like you feel that they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they're not putting in the effort. Like, they're not as committed to this connection and making it work as you are. And that started to really affect your wondering if you're good enough. I think a lot of times when people won't commit to us, we start to question what's going on with us, right? We're like, well, why is the love I have to give not enough, or what's wrong with me? And oftentimes it really has nothing to do with us. Now, this person, they have challenges with the Moon card. So what I mean by that, it often has nothing to do with us, is that this person, it feels like there's always challenges, like challenges and reasons as to why this person can't commit. Maybe they always make excuses, or maybe there are legitimate things going on in their life that keep them from being able to fully invest in this in the way that you deserve. However, the underlying energy for that is the Moon. It is fear. They have this fear of commitment that keeps them from fully being able to invest in this connection in the way that you deserve. Now, there's a couple of ways to approach that, and we'll talk a lot about it throughout the reading to make sure that you're understanding that whether or not somebody commits to you or chooses you or invests in you in the way that you deserve, that doesn't determine what it is you're actually deserving of. It literally just determines that person's capacity to meet what it is that you're deserving of, which has nothing to do with you, which again is kind of, I feel, the general vibe and theme of this reading. Now, in between this connection, you have Getaway with the 8 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like if this connection is in separation, I feel like that's actually a very good thing, because right now is a time, I'm not saying it is in separation, but if it is a good thing, because right now is a time, Aquarius, for you to get out of your head. I feel like you've been very in your head, very into overthinking, and that's keeping you from being able to see things like clearly as you need to make the best decision for you. This getaway energy is very much like this need to separate energies so that you don't confuse their fear of commitment with your worth, because those are not one and the same. Somebody's fear of commitment has nothing to do with your value or what it is you bring to the table. So I feel like because the overall theme is focus. So I feel like this is a need to redirect your focus when it comes to this connection and ultimately kind of shift your perspective on what's ultimately going on here. Because I don't feel like it doesn't feel like it's unrequited love or anything like that. It just feels like you're dealing with, you Aquarius, who has this expectation, and then this person who has a capacity to love that doesn't meet that expectation. But that doesn't mean you have to tolerate the behavior. I'm not saying lower your standards. They can't give you what you deserve. You're never asking for too much, but someone that you're asking for that from just might not be able to meet that at this time. Okay, Aquarius' side of the connection. And then you have to decide what's best for you with that knowledge. Aquarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. You're all in. I feel like you've been all in. And I feel like this might be something that, like a theme that has appeared in your relationships before too, like where you're all in, you want to commit, but you're just dealing with someone who won't. Because the Six of Cups in reverse, to me is like the repetition of something from the past coming back up. Now, this Knight of Wands is this energy of vulnerability, really laying it all out there. You know, you have this Eight of Pentacles here. You've been putting a lot of effort into this connection. I feel like you've been really trying to do what you can to create the stability and create the commitment. But it just feels, then you have this Lovers in reverse, which feels like the connection just isn't aligning with your worth. So it feels like maybe there's a lack of reciprocation of effort here or something, but there's something that's starting to make you question your value. And I feel like we want to get to the bottom of that. Aquarius' side of the connection. Because your value is not determined by this person. Even if they're like a family member or a boss. Okay, so this has been very triggering. What exactly about this? Because it feels like what about this connection is very triggering? It feels like their actions or lack of commitment is really, it's really affecting you, which makes, oh yeah, look, literally lack of reciprocation. That's what's very triggering. And I feel like the reason for that is you're like, I'm giving so much. Like, I am literally giving this connection all I have and I'm getting nothing back. Like, I have nothing left to give. So does that mean that everything I have to give isn't enough? No, that absolutely does not mean that. I understand why you would feel that way. And it's natural for us to feel that way when we're giving everything we have to a connection that isn't reciprocating. But again, we cannot confuse other people's capacity to love or their fear of commitment with our worth and with our value. So there's something, because this is a need to shift perspective, which is what I talked about with this focus card. So there's a need to view things a little bit differently. And like I said, like, get out of your head a little bit, because I feel, the first way that we view any situation, anybody's words, actions, is typically through the lens of our fears and our insecurities. So we'll read into people's actions and decisions and we'll make it about us. It's what we do. Humans are kind of just have that, that way about them, where it's like, oh, this person isn't committing, it must be me. It must mean there's something wrong with me. It must mean that I'm not good enough or I'm not valuable enough. And in reality, this fear of commitment has nothing to do with you literally at all. And I feel like it's important to, again, I feel like that's why this distance is needed, so you can get out of your head when it comes to overanalyzing and overthinking that. Aquarius' side of this connection. Aha! This is the hard part. We can't control other people. We can't force people to be something that they're not, even if that version of them that we have in our head might actually be what's best for them. And there's a little bit of you trying to control here, trying to control this person. Now, I don't think you're doing it intentionally. I think what you're saying is, I really care about this and I really want this to work and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. But what you're, at on the level of that, on the, like, underneath the layer of that you're actually doing is you're saying, I need you to change or for you to do something in order for me to be loved in the way that I deserve, which hands over your power, because you're basically saying, I can't be happy unless you do XYZ. And one of the ways that we set ourselves up, that I would actually go as far as to say the number one way that we set ourselves up for heartbreak is by trying to change other people. And it doesn't mean that what you're asking for isn't what you deserve, because you absolutely deserve what it is that you're desiring in love. It's just that you can't make someone who isn't capable of giving that to you give it to you. And that is the best lesson I ever learned in my life. Let people be who they are, distance yourself accordingly. Let people be who they are, respond accordingly. And the more that you do that, the more you actually find the people that are meant for you. Now, when I bring that up, I often get the, oh, but I care about them so much, I can't seem to break away from this connection. We're so connected on a spiritual level, and all of those things might very well be true. But that doesn't stop, that doesn't override the truth that you are deserving of more than what they're giving you. And that is where we have to learn to separate somebody else's energy from our own and make decisions that are best for us, knowing that that's going to lead us to better things anyway. Now, not saying this connection is doomed and it's never going to work out, but what I am saying is that right now is a time to focus on you, because so much of your energy and your focus has been on the connection and what you can do to make this person change their mind or make this person commit or make this person give more effort, instead of looking at how you can take care of yourself. And I feel like you really need to be taken care of right now, Aquarius, because if they're not doing it, who's doing it? If they're not doing it and you're not doing it, who's doing it? And there's a need to make sure that you're not abandoning yourself in the pursuit of getting somebody else to show up for you, because in the if you think about it, it's kind of a catch-22. Our reality is a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. If you're not showing up for yourself because you're trying to get someone else to show up for you, that person isn't going to show up for you because they're going to be a reflection of you not showing up for yourself. So really what I have learned is that other people are going to reflect back at us the value that we have for ourselves. And if we are willing to show up for ourselves and take care of ourselves first and make sure that our needs are met, because we cannot pour from an empty cup and we cannot show up for our relationships in the way that we truly need to if we aren't taking care of ourselves. So you have to do that so that, first of all, you're taken care of, and second of all, you have the energy to healthily invest in other people as well. And I feel like so much of your time and energy has been going into the connection and how to make it work and what you can do to make this other person value you and so on and so forth. And in the process of that, you have forgotten that you are already valuable regardless of what they do. And in that truth is that you have to make sure that you are protecting that value that you have, instead of looking for it in other people's decisions, which is a hard thing to do, especially when you really love and care about someone. This person's energy toward Aquarius, please. Challenges with the moon. This person's energy toward Aquarius. Okay. This person is someone who prefers the loneliness of life. Doesn't actually prefer it. Every human being on a level craves connection. But I feel like with the Hermit in reverse, this person is someone who isolates or withdraws, like doesn't let people get too close, is always keeping people at a distance. And that ultimately is a sign of not knowing how to let love in. Now, it's hard because someone who doesn't know how to let love in has probably never truly experienced the safety that comes with healthy unconditional love. So you're over here saying, I want to show that to them. I want to show up in this connection. I want to show this person what healthy unconditional love is so that they understand that it's safe and that they can accept it and we can live happily ever after. And I get that, but we cannot love other people into learning to accept that love. And that is where we cannot confuse somebody else's healing with our journey. Because if somebody else doesn't have the capacity to love us in the way that we deserve, we cannot force them to raise that capacity if they have not done the work to make that happen. And that's the hardest thing about relationships, is learning to understand that true healthy relationships are about letting people be who they are. And if their decisions don't align with your value, you have to be willing to say, this is not enough for me. But the relationships that are meant for you, the good news is that those decisions will align with your worth, and those people do exist. It's just that we spend so much of our time looking for love in people that either are not willing to or are incapable of loving us, that we completely block ourselves off from the people that are meant for us. Now, I'm not saying, again, that this connection is doomed, but I do feel like there's a need to make sure that there is some distance here for you to get clear on your needs and your desires when it comes to a relationship, because so much of your focus has been on theirs. This person's energy toward Aquarius, which happens when you love and care about someone, but isn't sustainable or healthy. That's too many. That's too much. This person's energy toward Aquarius. Okay. 2 of Wands in reverse, 10 of Wands here. This person has a lot of baggage from their past. A lot of things that they've been through, maybe through childhood, through previous relationships, that literally have nothing to do with you. And they haven't healed this. They're still carrying this baggage. And when we carry our baggage into another relationship, now we're all adults. If you're watching my videos, you should be. And we all have baggage. We all have things that we've been through. We all have trauma. We all have ways that we've learned to believe that we're unlovable or not good enough. We all have it. Now, the difference between healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships is whether or not both people are dealing with that baggage. Because otherwise, in unhealthy relationships, what it usually is we take our baggage and we place it at the feet of the other person and we say, this is your problem now. You have to deal with my commitment issues and my emotional unavailability and my trust issues. And I'm not going to work on healing any of those so I can show up without those. It's your problem now. And I feel like there's a little bit of that happening in this connection. They have this past, they have this trauma, they have this baggage that they're saying, I have this fear of commitment because of this. Sure, they have a reason, but that isn't your burden to bear. Their burden, their past, their trauma, that is nothing that you are here to fix or heal or bear the burden of. But because you love and care about them, I feel like you happily took on that burden and you were willing to carry it. But it's getting to the point where the longer you carry their burden, who's carrying yours? Who's dealing with your stuff? Your feelings of being not good enough and unlovable are just sitting there, like growing bigger and bigger and bigger, because you're saying, I'm doing all of this stuff for you. I'm taking on all of this burden in this connection, and you still won't commit to me, right? You still won't show up for me. You still won't love me in the way that I deserve. And you're starting to look at it from this place of, that must mean I'm not good enough. But your value isn't determined by this person's actions. I know I've said that a lot, but it's so important for you to hear. This person's energy toward Aquarius. This didn't want to hit the table. I don't think those wanted to hit the table. This person's energy toward Aquarius. There's a difference when cards fall out versus when they come out. That felt very intentional. The Tower. It's their ego. Okay. Our ego is so demonized in, I feel like, the spiritual community and just in society in general. Your ego is your number one protection mechanism. Its goal is to keep you alive. It does that by doing whatever it can to protect you, though. And sometimes that's not always what's best for you. And I feel like what's happening in this connection, because this is literally this person is not committing to things moving forward. They are not wanting to progress. They are not wanting to move things forward in this connection. And it's not because of you. It's because they're freaking terrified. And their ego is saying, we can't do that. We can't go there. We need to come up with reasons and excuses and whatever the case might be so that we don't move forward in this and open up the possibility to getting hurt like we've gotten hurt in the past. So understanding that, yes, this person probably acts from ego, and yes, it can come off as manipulative, and I'm sure it can come off as cruel, and it's not okay. Okay, I'm not sitting here justifying this person's behavior. What I am saying is you can have empathy and understanding for where they're coming from without directly equating it to what your value is. Because them protecting themselves from getting hurt and deciding not to invest or not to move forward or not to whatever is not a decision they have made because of you. Now, it might be because of what you're asking for, because what you're asking for might be more than they are comfortable with giving. But that does not mean that what you're asking for is too much. You know, I often have people say, oh, well, they wouldn't give me commitment, then they moved on to someone else and they happily gave them everything. And it's like, no, they probably, certain people, how do I say this? When you're in different phases in your life, in different growth levels in your life, you are going to push other people to grow. Your emotional intelligence, your self-love, that is going to it's going to trigger other people, and it's going to trigger other people to grow. Now, people are going to handle that in one of two ways. They're going to step up to the plate and they're going to do it, or they're not, and they're going to get the hell out of town because they don't want to deal with it. So if you're dealing with someone who's like, heck no, don't want anything to do with growth, I don't want to heal, sorry, and they walk away and they go and get in a relationship or give someone else what it is you were looking for, it's probably because that person doesn't trigger them or push them in the ways that you did. And that doesn't mean that that person is better than you. It just means that that person is more of a match for the other person because they're more of a vibrational match. So what I'm getting at is when you're further along on your growth journey and you're dealing with someone who isn't that far along, you're going to trigger them, and it is not your responsibility to make sure they level up with you. It is your responsibility to make sure that you do not allow them to pull you down to their level. And that's why protecting your peace and protecting your worth is so vitally important. Because if you are trying to save someone who's drowning and you start actually drowning, who the hell's going to save you? And that's, I feel, what I'm getting really passionate in this reading. And that's what I feel this reading is very much about, is you deserve the commitment that you're looking for. But if this person isn't willing to give it to you, that's on them. That's not on you. And it doesn't make it easier. It sucks and it hurts, right? But this is about making sure that you're being clear about what it is that you desire and need and love. And if you are being clear and somebody isn't meeting the expectations of those boundaries, that's where you have to make sure that you are then doing what is best for you instead of getting angry at somebody else for not doing what is best for you. Because we can't change other people. You can be angry, actually. Be angry all you want. But don't allow that to keep you stuck in this pattern of trying to change someone else and getting upset when they don't change. I've been there. It doesn't ever end well. Aquarius decided the connection to the person they are dealing with. It says Aquarius decided the connection to the person they are dealing with. I feel like, because you feel an intense loss when it comes to this connection. You feel as if, and it makes sense. When we lose somebody that we love for any reason, it sucks. It is painful. It hurts. It's hard. But one of the things that I have learned, and I'm so grateful for, that I have learned on my journey, is that every rejection, everything that doesn't work out, every opportunity that we miss or that we don't, that doesn't appear, is always redirection to what can work out and what is meant for us. And what is meant for us never ever pass us. You have never truly lost the opportunity to be loved, to be abundant, to be successful, to be happy, to be at peace. There might have been situations that provided you with those things that you're now lacking in your life. That doesn't mean that you will never be able to experience those emotions or those situations again. It literally just means oftentimes that the universe is saying, this isn't as good as it can get for you, so we need to remove you from this situation so that you can have what is. Rejection is divine protection. Always. But I feel like it's not so easy to feel that way in the midst of it. I know that from experience. Aquarius' side of this connection. You need to know that you haven't, if this person not committing to you does not mean you cannot have the commitment you desire. Absolutely not. There's the Lovers. See, you fear you'll never get what you deserve. And I feel like that's one of the reasons that this is so painful and has been so painful for you, because it just kind of feels like this is just proof that you'll never have what you deserve. You know, when we give everything we have to any situation and it doesn't work out, it brings up all of those fears and limiting beliefs. Like I said, the first way we view every situation is through our fear and limited beliefs. So when things don't work out, it's like, of course they're not going to work out. I don't think I'm ever going to have what I deserve. I don't think I'm ever going to get what it is that I truly desire. And this is just proof of that. The more that we look at what doesn't work out, not as proof that we can't have what it is that we want, but as stepping stones and lessons to be able to get what it is that we want out of love, the more that we actually attract what it is that we want. The way this person not committing to you is not proof that you can't have commitment. This person not choosing you, this person not showing up for you, this person's emotional baggage that they haven't dealt with has nothing to do with what is possible for you. But what you can do is look at what is within your control in this situation. What can you focus on that can help you grow, evolve, learn, heal in the ways that this connection is pushing you to, so that you can have what it is that you are ultimately deserving of. Because you do deserve more than this person has given you. And you know that. It's just that you're trying to change it into what you deserve instead of focusing on what you can control, which we all have a tendency to do. You haven't done anything wrong, but looking at that allows you to see where you've given your power away and said, you know, basically you have to do this for me to be loved, instead of saying this is what I need to do to be loved. Aquarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. It's hard because you don't want the connection to end. Like you want things to change, but you want them to change in your way, which, of course, right? Natural human response to life. I just feel like it's obvious that something needs to change here. And if this person isn't changing and we can't change other people, what needs to change? And what is it that you can do to make those changes? Because this isn't what you deserve. This Ten of Swords, this Five of Pentacles, this isn't what you deserve. This isn't what you desire. And, you know, you can't blame yourself for trying, and you can't blame yourself. You know, I hear all the time, I gave so much energy to that, it was a waste of time. No, it wasn't. Look at what you learned. Look at how you grew. And the more that you do, you focus on those things, the more that you kind of understand, because our relationships are our biggest teachers. They are our biggest spiritual assignments to teach us about ourselves. And when we look at it from that perspective, we understand that, first of all, we can have the love that we truly desire and deserve, but we have to be willing to look at the love that hasn't worked or isn't working from this place of, what is this trying to teach me? How is this trying to heal me? What is this trying to bring to the surface? Because that ultimately opens us up to, first of all, a different perspective, but also just a different way of going about things that puts the power back in our hands. Instead of saying other people never commit to me, we can say, okay, why do I keep attracting people that don't commit to me? What wound is being resurfaced through this dynamic? What is this trying to teach me, so that I can do what I can to heal and move forward, so that I don't keep attracting this dynamic? Because again, I started out with saying this seems to kind of be something that repeats for you. So let's, getting to the bottom of it is how we can make that stop. All right, so what does Aquarius need to know about this person? What does Aquarius need to know about this person? It's funny because you look at them, you know, not committing fully or choosing you or loving you in the way you deserve, right? As this belief that you are unlovable or that you are not deserving of it. But it's showing up for them. They don't feel deserving of love. And that's why they won't commit. So it's funny because, it's not funny, it's painful, but what I mean is the dynamic is that they don't feel lovable, and their actions here with the Queen of Wands, you could be dealing with fire sign, you don't have to be. Their act, because I think I also saw, it doesn't matter. If I was supposed to say it, I would have. Their actions are coming from this place of not feeling that they are lovable. And this Page of Pentacles in reverse is this energy of like being a little bit immature, like not necessarily they're an immature person, but maybe being a little bit naive or not meeting the emotional growth and the emotional intelligence required to have a healthy relationship. And that these feelings of not being good enough are being projected to you through their lack of commitment and making you not feel good enough. So there's a mirror of a wound here. There's a mirror coming through. You know, this person is feeling not good enough. They're making you not feel good enough. And that's where we have to learn that other people's decisions rarely have anything to do with us. And that's why I feel like the main point of this reading is the need to distance yourself from this connection a little bit to get a little bit clearer on what you need. Getting out of your head, getting out of limiting beliefs so that you can make sure that you are moving forward in the best way for you. This person's energy toward Aquarius. What in the world? Okay, hang on. The Six of Cups, or Six of Pentacles. The Temperance with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So, ooh. Wheel of Fortune in reverse with the Five of Wands here. So this is this person's inner battle. You have gotten yourself in the middle of this person's battle with themselves. Not feeling deserving of love, wanting to attract love, but not showing up for it. Like that inner battle that's going on within them, you were like, I can fight this for you. I can make you feel lovable. I can make you feel good enough. I can make you feel deserving. No, you cannot make anybody feel those things that they are not feeling for themselves. You can love people and support people in their process of healing as long as they're doing the work and they're focused, and that's what really determines whether or not any connection can work. If both people are approaching the connection from a place of self-reflection and, making sure that they're taking accountability for their side, both people, not just one or the other, but both, because there's always, always, always two sides to every story. If both people have the self-awareness and are willing to take accountability for their role in things, there's communication, there's vulnerability, you open up a safe space for the connection to grow and build. But if those things don't exist on both sides, if both people aren't being self-aware, aren't taking accountability, aren't being willing to grow, then what you're doing is you're trying to pull someone up with you. You're trying to save someone from drowning, and in the process of that, you start drowning too. And I feel like that's a lot of what you've been dealing with here, because you cannot get in the middle of someone's internal battle and come out unscathed. You will end up hurt, and that other people's internal battles are not yours to fight. You can give them the ammo and you can give them the armor and all the things that they need, but you cannot fight that battle for them, and it is up to them whether or not they are going to fight that battle within themselves and come out making the best decision for themselves. So they might want healthy love, but be afraid of commitment. They need to have that self-awareness of knowing, okay, I'm afraid of commitment because I've been hurt in the past, but that is an Aquarius's problem, and it is not fair for me to project that on Aquarius because that's going to end up hurting them. But if they don't have the ability to think through those things, which comes with healing and growth and, really learning to get to know yourself, if they haven't done those things, they can't approach this connection from the place that you're looking for them to approach this. And there's nothing you can do to change that. There's nothing you can do to make that different. All you can do is make sure that you are showing up in the ways that are best for you at this time. One more, this person's energy toward Aquarius. I knew I saw the Six of Cups turn around. I said Six of Cups, but it was the Six of Pentacles. I'm not going to take it because I feel like it would have shown itself if I was supposed to read it already. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. This person's energy toward Aquarius. This person's energy toward Aquarius, please. Oh, look at that. Emotional unavailability. I'm shocked. I'm not. We've seen all the signs of it in this reading. You know, fear of commitment is literally emotional unavailability. Now, you can have the fear of commitment and you can still show up for the connection anyway, right? Without allowing that fear of commitment to control you. But I feel like this person is allowing it to control them. They very much have a guard up, and I feel like you have been sitting there trying to get that wall to come down. But, you know, the thing is that that has to be their decision. It's kind of like you think about those just old, tiny, like, castles. Like, they have to let you in. They have to bring the bridge down or the door down or whatever and let you come in. Because the more that you try to get in, the more you end up getting hurt by their army that's keeping you out. And I feel like that's where, you know, you have to make sure that you've got to make sure you're taking care of yourself here, Aquarius, because if not, you're going to find that no one has been taking care of you and you're not going to have anything left to give, and you're going to completely lose yourself in this. Which is why I feel like distance and space is absolutely needed so that you can take time to really make sure that you're, showing up in a way that's best for you and not just in a way that you think is best for them, because your needs are just as important. They're literally just as important as theirs. Your healing is just as important as theirs. Your deservingness of being loved is just as much as theirs. So you have to show up for that for you first, so that they can either reflect back at you, rise to the occasion and reflect back that value to you. Or if they are not willing to do that, then you have to be willing to say, I can't continue to invest. This isn't good for me anymore. All right, Aquarius, we're going to hop on over to the extended. You have Getaway with the Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Aquarius, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.